Hello students, so today we will be discussing about Thomas Hobbes, and this particularly topic is very crucial for your UGC NET and CUET exams. So you know that Thomas Hobbes is a well-known philosopher, Western philosopher, because he belonged from England. And initially, if you want to understand like what philosophy has Thomas Hobbes provided us, so I have categorized the things into four different stages. First of all, I will talk about the state of nature, which we have already covered while discussing the concept of social contract, but I will revisit that again. Then we will talk about social contract. What kind of contract Thomas Hobbes was asking the peoples or the citizens to have, and what type of government he was envisaging. Okay, then we will talk about Leviathan. What is Leviathan? And we will talk about what classics Thomas Hobbes was talking about, and to that we will discuss about the absolute sovereign. So here I welcome you all to this channel where you will learn about the informations, and it will also help you for your note making and preparation for your UGC NET exams as well as CUET. So in the beginning we will see that Thomas Hobbes, he was born on 1588. Okay, so the time is very crucial, you have to understand. And from which country he used to belong? He used to belong from England. So before that, I want to say that Thomas Hobbes did not have a very, what to say, he did not belong to a very rich or posh family background. But apparently his, his inclinations towards study has enabled him to learn various things. Apparently he was a very good translator, like he has translated the various war, like the Peloponnesian War, okay, which was written in Latin. He converted that into English. Okay, so before that, he has been, he was raised up and he went to Oxford. Oxford University is very popular, you all know, and it's a prestigious university. So he studied, what did he used to study? He used to study physics, logic, and other things. Hobbes was a Hobbes was recruited. Like, he do not like Oxford that much because he did not find anything very interesting which Oxford used to teach him. So he finally, after finishing his studies, he was recruited in the house of aristocratic family. Okay, like he was very much he was so well versed, and he was so, like he was a very charming personality. Since he was a very charming personality, so he was recruited to an aristocratic family, and it was, the Earl, to teach the son of the Earl of Devonshire as a tutor. Okay, so the Earl of Devonshire, this is the very name which, that like the royal family used to have for their, like those who have achieved the title through, like getting into various wars. So in 1618, so when he started his teaching to aristocratic family in 1618, he became the tutor. Later on, he also became the secretary, and he had a voyage of the entire Europe. Voyage means what? He has traveled the entire Europe, where he has met various persons like Descartes, who was in exile, or he was hiding in Netherlands. Okay, Descartes. Then he has met Galileo Galilei. You know that the artist round was propounded by Galileo Galilei, and various other, Gaston de Pere, and various other thinkers, who was very influential and was one of the most, like prominent personality which we have seen while reading the history. So now we will get back to what are the things like I have devised the topic into. So see, in the image it is very clear. Okay, like the civil war was happening in England. Civil war means, what is civil war? Civil war means like when there is like public unrest. Public unrest, like everyone was very much, the situation was very chaotic. Like every people was against everyone. Okay, and there was no proper authority who can control that. So it was also the time when the Westphalian War was on process. Okay, when did the Westphalian War started? Westphalian War started in 1618, and it continued till 1648. So this is all about the Westphalian War. We know that. Okay, so on the basis of this, the Westphalian War and like everything else, so this is very interesting. Like Hobbes was there at the time when everything was happening. So Westphalian War was because of what, because it was happening between various Christian groups, like the Protestant or the Catholics. They were at war with each other, like they were having kind of civil war against each other. So what is state of nature? So in the very topic, we will understand what is state of nature. Now, while comprehending to Thomas Hobbes' social contract, the state of nature is an ideal place. Ideal place means when we do not live under any authority, means we do not basically think about who is a government, means what is a government, means when we do not live under anyone, means we are completely free. Okay, we are living in the state where like there's no authority who can control us. It's in the state of nature. One thing I've mentioned, like only those who are fittest, they will survive. The survival of the fittest is the key, which is going to happen in the state of nature. Suppose you are weak and the strong group emerges, so that will take you down and they will establish their hold. So in this kind of things, like it was in total anarchist condition. Anarchist means like lawless condition. Okay, like the state of nature was prone to all kind of threats, security and other things. Okay, so since these things were nurtured by various kind of insecurities, disposition, exploitations and various other domains, so the state of nature was an embodiment to various other divisions, various other thoughts which would invoke a different kind of theory. That theory will basically place human being to a pre-political set of order, like when the state was not established. So now we will come to the concept of social contract. What is social contract? Social contract means it is a contract which is being signed by the people. The people means all the citizens of that particular place. They will come together. They will sign a voluntary will, and that voluntary will be submitted. That I will surrender all my rights. An individual, he will surrender all his right to a particular person, and that particular person is the king. So once the king has everything, like the king has all forms of like sovereignty, the kings have like entire power, like the peoples will be surrendering all their rights, but there will be one particular condition, that the king will sacrifice, the king will sacrifice everything else but not their right to life. Like the king can sentence someone to prison, the king can do whatever, but not take anyone's life. Okay, so social contract is an agreement between the king and the people, like the king will protect the people's life. So this is the social contract which Thomas Hobbes was basically prioritizing, and he wanted to put all his rights to one particular individual, and that is the king. And he considered that the king is who is the king? Is an absolute sovereign. Absolute sovereign means there is no other authority who can challenge the king, because people are believing or obeying this particular authority means what? People are believing and obeying this particular authority means like there is no other or extra power who will take interest of these people. So this is an absolute sovereign, a person who will bestow all his all his capacity to protect people, like from war. Suppose war is happening, so this absolute sovereign will save the people. Because it is very well known proverb that you have always learned, I think, that is Hobbes and fear were born twins. Like it is like Hobbes was a realist. Realist means he used to believe, like whatever he sees, he used to put in his theory according to that. So since Hobbes was a realist, we know that. So he knew the power of a state. So the power of a state cannot be denied, since Hobbes believed that the sole path of security, of becoming, like the sole path of security is to secure the right to life. Okay, so who can secure the right to life? It is none but the king, who is in charge of this absolute sovereign. So Hobbes has written three important work. He has written more, but I'm going to prioritize here three important books, like the Leviathan, which was written in 1651. Obviously you know that. And De Corpore, that is DECORPORE. Okay, Corpore, and Decive, DECIVE. Okay, so these are the three books which Hobbes has mentioned, and about this I'll be talking in details. So Hobbes has also talked about, like, if the king is not able to protect his subject, Suppose the king is a very feeble one. Feeble means weak one. So he's not going to protect his subject. Means then also there is no problem because everyone will obey him. But only one condition: if the king started taking the lives of the people, like if the king started taking the life, killing people, then only a violent revolution will occur, and then the king will be replaced. Okay, so the king will be replaced through a violent revolution. So there are many thinkers or social contractualists like Locke, then Rousseau. They have eventually criticized, Hobbes. Why they have criticized Hobbes? Because you have to understand this fact. Like, criticism of Hobbes begin with, like, Hobbes is only brought one guarantee, that the king will assure only the right to life. Okay, so like now, what is a qualitative life? Qualitative life is not only restrained to the right to life. It is right means you will have freedom, you will have equality, you will have so and so forth things, right? So, but this was not something which Hobbes has taken into consideration. He thought that if we are protected, then only we will be able to, realize our self-worth, and we will be saved. Okay, because if we exist, then only all our right will exist. But in reality, the things have been different. So suppose I'm giving you a situation. For instance, suppose a person, like you are allowed with your right to life, but you are put in a prison. Okay, if you are put in a prison, what will happen to you? If you are put in a prison, supposedly, you just think, okay, for one particular thing, like you are put in a prison, you are provided with food, clothes, and everything else. So, but you are imprisoned. So will you be able to enjoy other rights? So you will not be. So this is the life which you deserve. You don't. Okay, so this is the thing, like since if you have the right to life also, if you don't have a dignified life, so that life is not worthy. So that is the sole thing which Hobbes has been criticized about. So being a classical realist, Hobbes is always valued as the most esteemed philosopher, and as he has mentioned various things in his social contract theory. So I have made the entire thing in very gist. Hope you have understood. Okay, so now this is very interesting. You can see in the image, that is a Leviathan. Okay, so Leviathan, the name of the book itself represents what? The sea monster. Like, why? Like Hobbes has compared this with sea monster. So basically we are talking about the time since like 1500 to 1600. Okay, so the time duration is very unique. 1651, when he has written the like Leviathan. So at that time, like the only way to travel was through sea, because the Great Britain or United Kingdom or the like the Britishers, they don't have direct they have road connectivity obviously, but it was like Britain was surrounded by sea. Okay, so they have to sail through the ships, and when they used to take the voyage through their ships, what used to happen? They used to they were attacked by huge monster like creatures, and this creature was named as Leviathan. So Leviathan is a sea monster. So Hobbes has basically said that Hobbes has not meant that he really want to have a Leviathan in his courtyard. Rather, Hobbes meant that he wanted the power of the king to be as great as this Leviathan. Because why like this Leviathan is being compared? Because whenever we have a picture of this Leviathan, so obviously it induces fear in the minds of the people. So since people fear this particular creature, so those who will be coming from other states, like they will be fighting war with this particular state of Britain or England, so they will have a fear that this king is very dangerous, so we cannot fight a war with this. So the king picture has been portrayed to that of a Leviathan, and he has been compared to that particular Leviathan. The absolutist sovereign will be massive in terms of power. Like he will control every existential threat. Okay, so from war to whatever happening internally, means since his duty is to protect the people from and to provide them with the right to life, so he will do anything and everything which is needed and by which the life of the people are being secured. So that is the sole thing which Hobbes has meant in terms of this Leviathan. I think this is clear. I have made a very brief presentation I've made a very brief explanation. Like it will, like if I will go to each and every details to make you to make this 45 minutes explanation, you won't be that energetic and you will fall asleep. So this is a small lecture. Hope the entire thing of the social contract has been cleared without any doubt. So if you have understood the topic, do like, comment. I'm not receiving any comments or likes. So okay, so if you have understood, also just acknowledge with your like, and also subscribe if you are interested to know for further theories which I will be bringing up in our upcoming lectures. So that is all for today. Thank you.